What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Mr. Mental Health. I hope everybody's doing well. Rest in peace, DMX. To me, he's another one of those, like, he may not have the type of impact, but he was another person in the same boat with Tupac that you felt his music. Got a lot of songs that's so relatable, and he was battling addiction, man. Addiction is real. It's a lifelong journey, you know what I mean? And you never know what pushes that person over the top, you know what I mean? People, they're gonna point out the flaws that he had and stuff that he could have did better. I mean, but to be honest, you know what I mean? When you riding this wave, you can name 100 things that you could do better when you sit back and look at it. But man, rest in peace to DMX. His kids, he left 17 kids behind, man. It's a lot of kids to leave behind. Hopefully, you know what I mean, through this, they can, if they already not, keep in touch or become tighter, or, you know what I mean, develop some kind of rapport with one another. Which kind of inspired me a little bit to talk about this topic today, which is grief, loss, dealing with a death, and, you know, how you deal with it. You know, I don't have the what, I don't have the answers, you know what I mean, because every situation is so different. You know, for me, I lost my dad in 2003 from a heart attack. And when I tell you, it was sudden, it was shocking, it still hurts sometimes, because I feel like I was robbed. I feel like I was robbed of laughter, fun, hanging out as I got older, apologizing to him for adulting, you know what I mean, putting us in position. Some of his methods we didn't understand, but it's clear, you know what I mean. You walk straight through the tunnel. Father was a very good brother, you know what I mean. He was a good man. Wasn't perfect, you know. He battled his own demons, alcohol, early on, cigarettes, working. I felt like he was addicted to working too, you know what I mean. But he taught us a lot, and I think I take after him for the kids, because, you know what I mean, he basically raised my brother, you know, my younger brother that's not biologically his son. And then we had, you know, step sister brothers, you know what I mean, like, and he never treated anybody, and they probably could attest to this, he never treated anybody different. So I always appreciate that and admire him for his ability to father so many other kids that wasn't his, you know, and on top of me and my sister, who was biologically his kids, you know what I mean. And he made us do a lot of stuff together, and I think that's why me and my sister are so close now, is because he made us stick together in tough times, you know, which is good though. You know what I mean? It makes for growth, maturation, and appreciation for adulting, life skills. How do you deal with death? I know for me, his passing, like I say, man, the phone call, the Sunday night football game, where I was at, I was asleep, of course. My auntie saying that she wasn't able to even tell me, you know what I mean? She wanted my sister to tell me. My sister, you know what I mean, telling me, and I just remember just crying like nonstop. I was numb the first night, but the next day, like before I had to fly home, I was just numb, you know what I mean, crying, and didn't understand, still don't, you know what I mean? Because I was robbed of a relationship with my father. I can't question the man above, you know what I mean? My hopes is that one day I do get a chance to see him again, and that's all our hopes. You know, we're not dead, so we can't say what happens when you die, you know what I mean? Of course, you know, our hope is that it is a heaven, that we do get a chance to see our loved ones, but whatever that hope is, that's I'm hoping. You know what I mean? But I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out without him. I had to become a man without him. I was young, 23. I'm 40 now, so it's a long time without having, you know what I mean, support. Like I can't pull up on him. I can't call him. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna cry. I'm a little, you know, yeah. But I can't do none of that. And, you know, Father's Day is tough for me. You know, everybody get to, you know, well, not everybody, because some people in the same situation, but people get to call their dad and get to hang out with their fathers. You know what I mean? They get to, you know, kick it. You know what I mean? Laugh. You know what I mean? Even if it's an argument, you know what I mean? But you get to get that. I didn't get that. You know what I mean? I got it for 20 plus years. I still wish, you know what I mean, he was around, but, you know, for whatever reason, you know, it was just, he lived his life, that dash, you know what I mean? With that dash, he was a good man, you know what I mean? That's all I could say. How I dealt with it, I acknowledged the pain. I still acknowledge it, you know what I mean? Some people can't talk about it, you know, they go into, hey, I don't want to talk about it. I don't have an issue with funerals. I don't have an issue with seeing them how they are in the casket. Some people can't. Some people want to remember them for who they were before they was in the, you know, casket. You know what I mean? But it's each to his own. You know, we got to we celebrate their lives. You know what I mean? A funeral is, in my opinion, is a celebration. You know, your loved ones, your friends, or whoever, they meant something to you, something of value, some sentiment. They meant, you know, a lot to you, and their lives should be cherished. That's why people should, man, check on your loved ones, give your people their flowers while they're here, because that word tomorrow is just a word, you know, because everybody didn't wake up today. People dealing with death as we speak. You know what I mean? I dealt with it last year. You know, I lost 3 people last year, 3 people that meant something to me. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a auntie that I ain't meet. You know, this was people who impacted my life, you know what I mean, my life, and, you know, gave me some knowledge, some wisdom, you know what I mean, looked out for me, you know, was there for me when I needed them, you know. But you gotta, and another thing too with dealing with death, like, don't allow somebody to tell you how long you're supposed to grieve, you know what I mean? Like, it could take a lifetime, but, you know, and I'm gonna get to that, is how, you know, moving in life is for the living. You know, it's easier said than done, and it sounds harsh, but I mean, you can't roll over in the casket and get in there with them and go, you know. And like I say, some people do. Like the whole thing is, a part of them died when they died. Like it's really real, you know. A lot of people do die when other person died because that's all they knew. You know what I mean? This is what they were every day. Now I got to live my life empty and to try to make a way without this person that was there for me every day, every step of the way. Like it's all type of books on money management and budgeting and real estate and addiction, getting your life, but there's nothing out there on how to deal with death. Because even if it tells you that, it's still like a personal experience that you got to have with yourself, whatever you believe, and how you gonna overcome whatever it is that you're dealing with. You know, people that lose kids, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's tough. You gonna always feel like you could have did something different. I mean, you might blame yourself sometimes, even if it wasn't your fault. You know, you may still place that type of blame on you. And you're not supposed to. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to have those guilty consciences. You know, the guilt part of life is pretty much is satanic, because, you know, God doesn't operate under those type of circumstances. You know what I mean? He's about consequencing us for our actions, but it's not about feeling guilty. You know what I mean? And we got to get away from guilt. But just dealing with death, like, take your time. What else? Talk about your feelings. Acknowledge your feelings. Like, your feelings they're your feelings. They should be treated as so, and they should be taken seriously. But you should acknowledge them, and, you know what I mean? And, you know, I think you should talk to somebody. Talk to people who've dealt with death. Talk to people because it's not a secret. Like, it's not like, oh my God, look, everybody has lost something or somebody of value to them. And if they haven't, man, that's what's up, But for the most part, people have, and you got to find a way to deal with it. Like, you can't just, like I say, roll over in the casket and go. Like, you got to find a way to cope with it. But you're not supposed to keep it bottled in. And, when people ask you about it, you may not be ready to talk about it, which is completely understandable. But at some point, you do have to address those demons because it'll eat you alive. Like, grief really increases, like, stress, heart attacks, strokes, inflammation. Like, I was reading, like, man, I didn't know really grief did all that. I mean, you think about it, headaches, depression, to where you don't want to do anything. You don't want to get out of bed. You can't function. All it is this, that I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to go to work. You know what I mean? Like, it puts you in this dark space sometimes. And that space can be very tough to get out if you are not willing, or if you just don't know how to. Some people don't know how to, but I think you should reach out to try to figure it out. Nobody is perfect when dealing with death or grief. Accept your feelings. I think the biggest thing, though, is really just celebrating their life. Their life meant something to you, and I think you should celebrate it because of everything that they actually did while they were here, But yeah, I just wanted to, speak on it. I leave because I'm so early in my mental health stages that I know a lot of videos that I make, I will come back to them. So I don't like to just I like to just throw a topic out there, let it be broad, and I can come back and say, hey, well, we're going to focus with grief and how did you deal with it the first year? You know what I mean? So I leave it open, but I think it's just, to me, I just, my videos is really just to tap into what people deal with on a daily basis that they don't talk about. And, that it causes all this anxiety and depression and high blood pressure and lack of interest in extracurricular activities. Death does a lot to us, and we don't like to talk about it. We don't like to talk about anything for real if it ain't about sports and sex, drugs, drama. A lot of times, it's very rare you see, people boasting about investing. You know what I mean? It happens, but it's a rarity. Like, people, like, even now, people put out videos of somebody getting punched in the face. That thing ain't gonna go viral, but you putting out videos talking about how you gonna get over depression or anxiety, and nobody ain't watching that. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to deal with it sometimes themselves. So, but yeah, grief, dealing with a loss, dealing with a loved one. How do you cope? What are some of your coping mechanisms that you could help somebody else with? Like I say, mine was, I did a revelation seminar. I went to counseling. I'm open about it. I talk about it. Yes, I cry about it because I can never hear my dad's voice again. Like, he had never called me and said anything to me. So I have every reason to feel how I feel. And I think people should understand that. Feel how you feel. It's okay to feel how you feel. But the question is are you going to die with them? Or are you going to find a way to live your life and celebrate theirs and combine the two? So you never have to lose out on who they really were and what they really meant to you. So thank y'all for checking out my video again, Mr. Mental Health. I had to make another video because the other video was, I get into that. But thank you for checking out my channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Also, I'll get with my brother today, Mr. Andre. We're going to come up with we'll develop some kind of brotherhood to where maybe on twice a month where, a group of guys get together and, talk about mental health issues, but also hang out, fellowship, and try to break this chain. It's kind of like slavery, to some degree, to break this chain and grow it to where it becomes normalized to speak on mental health topics, especially the ones that you deal with personally and not somebody else's. You know, it's okay to tell your friend that you love them. It's okay to give your brother a hug. It's okay not to judge them, you know, because they need you, so to speak. So hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. I'm out. Thank you for watching again.